Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook, Chapter 11, Migration of 100 Ghosts. Long time no see, I miss you very much. I don't know if Mr. Gyu is all right, because there is an emergency. I have to inform you as soon as possible. Judging from the information given by the investigation team, starting this afternoon, all the ghosts within the investigation range have moved on a large scale. At present, it has caused huge casualties and panic among the people. This phenomenon is something we have never encountered in the past, so after my bold inference, there is a high probability that it is related to some changes of Kibutsuji Muzen. Although this is a change, it may also be an opportunity for us. At present, I have dispatched most of the combat forces in the ghost killing squad to various regions to calm the situation and investigate the cause. Although there are many inconveniences, I hope Mr. Gyu will be present at the Hashirama meeting in 2 days' time. Have a nice trip. Pen to paper. Ubuyashiki Kagaya. Quote. Like Tomioka Gyu, Heiyuming frowned tightly after reading the contents of the letter. His intuition told him that the event of the Hyaki migration was definitely related to the fact that he seriously injured Kibutsuji Muzen this afternoon. But he really couldn't figure out why Kibutsuji Muzen would do such a behavior that would expose himself with a high probability. If it is followed, the way most people think of normal people after being seriously injured should be to find a wonderful shelter and never let their identity information be stolen again until their injuries are recovered. Those who have the ability to kill him should know. And Kibutsuji Muzen's behavior is completely opposite to the thinking of ordinary people. This kind of thing will never happen to this old coin that has lived for thousands of years. There must be something happening that he doesn't know, misfortune. Could it be that Tamayo used the drug he had developed to sneak up next to the seriously injured Kibutsuji Muzen and kill him, and then replaced him as the Ghost King? In addition to being replaced as the Ghost King, why did all the ghosts behave in such an abnormal way? But it's not right. Although Tamayo has the ability to replace Kibutsuji Muzen and can also create ghosts, but Tamayo and his little followers are not close to Kibutsuji Muzen, one winding can make them unable to eat. What's more, with Tamayo's character, it is impossible for those ghosts to do such a collective behavior that will seriously endanger society. Forget it, forget it. What really bothered him was not what happened to Kibutsuji Muzen in front of him, but the situation after the change was completely different from the plot he said he was familiar with. This deep uneasiness that he could not grasp the direction of the world made him feel extremely discomfort. You must know that all these changes are brought about by him, a character who appeared out of thin air. If the plot is changed because of this, those ghosts will cause more people to suffer misfortune in the plot that he does not know. Then he will definitely have a sense of guilt. And the only way now is to try his best to kill Kibutsuji Muzen, the source of the disaster, as soon as possible, and all problems will be solved by then. What Kibutsuji Muzen is doing now will undoubtedly gradually expose his position to the Ghost Slayer team over time. And now he needs to do his best to become stronger so that he can completely kill Kibutsuji Muzen the next time he meets him. Thinking of this, Heiyuming decided not to evade anymore. He will take the initiative to attack, and the next time he sees Kibutsuji Muzen will be the time when he really dies. But now the fastest way to improve strength is to join the ghost killing squad, learn various skills, and create your own exclusive weapons. I think there is a high probability that this change is caused by our behavior this afternoon. After pondering for a moment, Heiyuming put forward his guess to Tomioka Gyu. After hearing Heiyuming's guess, Tomioka Gyu also nodded in agreement. Then he solemnly said to Heiyuming and Nezuko, "But before that, Mr. Ming, I would like to invite you and Nezuko to the meeting between the pillars. You can be said to be our most important force against Kibutsuji Muzen. As the pillar of the top strength of the demon-killing team, during this battle with Kibutsuji Muzen, he has deeply realized his own lack of strength. In contrast, whether it is Heiyuming or Nezuko said his strength far exceeds the fighting power he showed when he met Kibutsuji Muzen. But in fact, under normal circumstances, it is absolutely impossible for Tomioka Gyu to behave as badly as he did when he met Kibutsuji Muzen this time. If his real strength is shown, he will definitely be able to crush Nezuko, and even be able to stand shoulder to shoulder with Heiyuming, just because at this time he has neither broken his heart knot, nor has the markings to fight against Kibutsuji Muzen's aura. It can be said that the hero who has been stacked with dozens of debuffs directly fights the final boss, so it is no wonder that he is not hit. But for Heiyuming, Tomioka Gyu's proposal was simply to sleep, so he sent a pillow to cushion it, not to be too comfortable. He, Ms. Kocho Shinobu and Ms. Kanroji Mitsuri. I'm coming. Chapter 12. Thinking of the two beautiful ladies who will meet at the meeting between the pillars, Haeyuming feels his bones are shattered. Haeyuming immediately agreed to Tomioka Gyu's request with a look of excitement. Okay, then let's go now. Don't worry, the Hashirama meeting is 2 days later. It's too late tonight, so let's rest. Tomorrow, I want to send Tanjiro to my teacher, Urokodaki Sakanji, and teach him how to breathe water, and then let's go again. After Tomioka Gyu let go of the burden in his heart, he rarely said so many words to reject Haeyuming's idea of starting now. However, his real thought at this moment is, it's not that I want to eat 2 meals cooked by Mr. Ming. It's for the sake of Tanjiro's safety, yes, that's right. After hearing Tomioka Gyu's righteous refusal, Haeyuming also knew that his plan to visit the beautiful young lady at the Demon Slayer squad headquarters tomorrow had failed, so he had no choice but to reply, okay then, let's go to Sagiri Mountain first. But there are quite a lot of guests today, you say yes, the one hiding in the grass. As he spoke, Haeyuming gently picked up a small stone on the ground, tossed it twice in his hands to test the weight, and then threw it heavily towards the grass next to Tanjiro. Huge sonic booms came from Haeyuming's throwing hands, and the blasting sound of the sound barrier caused by rounds was like exploding grenades, causing ripples in the air, and the small stones in his hands were like battery rails like a cannon. It flew out quickly at a speed that was far invisible to the naked eye, and the airflow it set off even blew away the displaced snowflakes. The originally small stone was endowed with endless lethality at this time. It passed through Tanjiro's hair in an instant and penetrated into the grass. The sharp breath even cut off a section of Tanjiro's red hair. Boom! There was only a loud noise, accompanied by the sound of stones hitting the body, coming from Tanjiro's head. And Tanjiro, who hadn't realized it at all and was happily gnawing on the skeleton just now, seemed to be frightened out of his soul at this time, and turned into a soft white paper and collapsed on the ground. I'm going to die, I'm really going to die. Cousin Ming is too scary. Tanjiro, who fell on the ground, felt cold sweat when he thought of the terrible attack just now, let alone his head. Even steel can definitely penetrate. As the rolled up smoke and dust scattered, the person hiding in the grass was completely exposed. A low-level ghost with only half of his body left appeared in everyone's sight, but now he was obviously a ghost, but he looked at Haeyuming with a face of fear. What kind of monster are you? When accepting Mr. Kibutsuji Muzan to go to the gathering place, he still felt that today must be his lucky day. He must be endowed with stronger strength by Mr. Muzan, and even became a leader in one fell swoop to let the reputation of fear be passed on to the world. Even this good mood lasted until he saw 4 young boys and girls having a picnic in the snowy forest late at night when he was hungry. Especially the red headgear, which is still on the list of people who must be killed as requested by Master Kibutsuji Muzan. This opportunity is simply a gift from heaven. If the head of the young man in front of him is handed over to Mr. Muzan, he will definitely get more rewards. However, this good mood completely turned into fear after the black-haired smiling boy just shot. Just a small stone easily smashed the remaining half of his body into 2 pieces like piercing a window paper. This kind of terrifying power is definitely not something that normal people can use, and the young man in front of him is absolutely impossible to be human. Just now his attention was completely attracted by Tanjiro, only now did he realize that the aura emanating from the boy in front of him was almost the same as that of Master Kibutsuji Muzan. There is no mistake, this lord is definitely a top-notch type, and he is the type with extremely top strength. I am definitely disturbing this lord's meal time. Thinking of this, a few drops of cold sweat instantly flowed from the head of the junior ghost, and he knocked his head hard in the direction of Haeyuming. This lord is petty and unreasonable. I don't know that this is a place for adults to eat. Please forgive me. Tanjiro and Tomioka Gyu were so frightened that their jaws almost dropped when they saw the low-level ghosts who turned their backs in an instant, and even Haeyuming was a little dazed. Is this a new tactic of surrender? First sow dissension from the enemy and then flee in disorder. But looking at the lower-level ghost with a look of fear in front of him, who didn't dare to do anything wrong, he didn't look like a liar at all. Could it be that this guy recognized me as a string? Thinking of this, a playful smile appeared in Haeyuming's eyes and asked the subordinate ghost who didn't even dare to lift his head, "Do you know who I am?" How dare the hairy low-level ghost stared at by Haeyuming lie? Immediately, he kowtowed again and said, I only know that you are the supreme winding ghost. It's so offensive to disturb me this time. Please spare my life. You must know that the punishment of ghosts to ghosts may be far more serious than the punishment of ghosts from the ghost-killing team. Ghosts basically have no effect on harming ghosts, but powerful ghosts can completely restrain weak ghosts to act recklessly and even throw them out to bask in the sun. The world of ghosts is the most complete world of the weak and the strong, which is one of the reasons why countless ghosts continue to kill and become stronger even in the face of the threat of the ghost-killing team. Stronger strength in the world of ghosts means a more comfortable life, more adequate food, and a safer environment. Hearing the subordinate ghost's words, the corners of Hae-Yuming's mouth curved slightly again. It seems that some have played, and it is true that the gods are not willing to let Kibutsuji Muzan live longer. Chapter 13. Looking at the honest, low-level ghost, he didn't even dare to lift his head and lay on the ground tremblingly, daring not to move. How could Hae-Yuming let go of this excellent source of information? If this ghost doesn't make good use of it, it would be disrespectful to the person who was eaten by this guy. I saw Hae-Yuming's face darkened, and he said coldly to the subordinate ghost, since you know that I am a stringer, you dare to disturb me to eat, you are so brave. As soon as this sentence came out, not only the lower-level ghost on the ground began to tremble uncontrollably, but Tanjiro on the side seemed to have lost his soul, and lost his color in fright. With the character of this silly boy, he must have taken his words seriously. Why can't this silly boy be as clever as Nezuko? Compared to Tanjiro, Tomioka Gyu seemed much calmer, and he must have guessed Hae-Yuming's intention. Open black lens bracket ding. Congratulations to the host for learning a new skill, fraud. LV15, a small peek into the door. The sudden system prompt made Hae-Yuming stunned for a moment, and then there was a look of surprise on his face. Huh. Why did you activate a skill? He, it came just in time, and the system fully loaded me. But why is the initial level of this skill so high? I am the most honest person. Sure enough, the previous owner of this body must be a big liar. Yes, that's right. Fraud, the current level is raised to LV15. Fraud, the current level is raised to LV56. Fraud, the current level is raised to LV99. Fraud, the current level is raised to LVMAX, charm plus 10, and additional rewards, slick tongue. Slick tongue. After countless experiences, you have become a master of deception. Every word you say has been able to touch the deepest trust of people, making it easy for others to believe your words. The so-called fake to the extreme is true. As long as it doesn't exceed the bottom line of other people's hearts, your words can easily get anything you want. Close black lens bracket. Looking at the newly added skills, Hae-Yuming's face gradually became joyful. This is a magical skill. As long as there is no lower limit to integrity, then there is absolutely no upper limit to the power of this skill in his hands. Let's take this poor low-level ghost as an experiment now. Hae-Yuming, who got the skill, stopped talking nonsense, and directly activated the skill to ask the subordinate ghost, Hey, Junior, do you know where Kibutsuji Muzan is now? Strange, how could Master Shangxian not know where His Excellency Kibutsuji Muzan is? But if he looks so reliable, there will be absolutely no problem. After a little struggle in the subordinate's heart, he succumbed to Hae-Yuming's charm without hesitation. Your Excellency Kibutsuji Muzan sent me a voice transmission to tell us to go to Flower Street, where there will be Nakime to pick us up and meet him. My lord, didn't you hear that voice? However, the subordinate ghost has not finished speaking, a ferocious arm has already stretched out from his mouth and pinched his head fiercely. Boom! With a sound like a watermelon cracking, the underling ghost ended his sinful life under the curse of Kibutsuji Muzan. Looking at the remains of the ghost's head that was crushed by the cursed arm and still making its final struggle, Tanjiro also had a look of unbearable expression on his face. Cousin Ming, what are these arms? Look at the ghost when it dies. It sounds like it's painful. Why do you want to be like this? These are the curses of Kibutsuji Muzan. As long as there are other ghosts who betray him, they will be killed by these arms. Although this lower-level ghost did misidentify me, he has already revealed the location of Kibutsuji Muzan to us. Although this ghost was very painful when he died, he is not worthy of sympathy at all. His blood is definitely not something that can be obtained by killing one or two people. There are countless families that were destroyed by these scum just like you. Sometimes they don't sympathize with humans. Quote. Looking at the unbearable Tanjiro, although he knew that he was indeed a good person, Haeyuming felt that he should expose the darkness in this world to him. I know Cousin Ming, and I will try my best to be a person like you. Perhaps thinking of what happened at home, the unbearable light in Tanjiro's eyes also faded slightly. Although he really can't understand Kibutsuji Muzen's method, which is extremely painful even if it makes people die, but he has to admit that what Haeyuming said is indeed true. The ghost in front of him really didn't have any sympathy for him. In the future, I will also try my best to become a person like Cousin Ming. Gentleness should only be reserved for people in the world. Seeing that Tanjiro understood what he said, Haeyuming patted his head in relief. Okay, hurry up and rest. Starting tomorrow you will officially start learning how to become a member of the Demon Slayer squad. Your talent will surely make you an excellent member of the ghost killing squad. Okay Cousin Ming, I will definitely work hard. By the way, can I marry Nezuko now? Of course you can. Cousin Ming, what are you talking about? No, no, no. Absolutely not. Damn it, still can't do it, you hopeless sister-in-law. Chapter 14. The rest time always flies by quickly, and the time of the night is fleeting. The first ray of dawn in the morning soon followed, and the best expectations of the people who were busy in the world enveloped the whole earth together. If the most painful childbirth in the world can rank the pain level to 10, then for Haeyuming, the pain level of getting up early is definitely 100. Haeyuming, who was devastated by the early rising system of collective schools on the original Earth, vowed from an early age that if he could grow up one day, he would definitely live a happy life of getting up and eating lunch every day. However, he was transmigrated into this cruel different world just after finishing college. Obviously he didn't have many opportunities to enjoy enough sleep. Those who have been brainwashing students since high school, you will be relaxed when you go to college, and you can play carefree in college. Haeyuming didn't find out until he actually went to college. All of these damn things are the malicious lies of the teachers. After going to college, there are still countless trivial matters overwhelming him every day, and the early sign in every day is the daily sleep terminator. In terms of annoying levels, college life is definitely 100 times as high as high school. Fortunately, he has finally traveled to another world now, and he no longer has to get up early to break free from the shackles of the bed, yo-ho. However, is this really the case? Obviously, along with the first ray of sunlight, there is a certain energetic red-haired iron-headed baby. I saw that, like a precise biological clock, when the weak sunlight hit Tanjiro's face, he jumped up like a spring that was stretched and then suddenly relaxed, shouting in the direction of Haeyuming habitually. Cousin Ming, get up quickly, it's already morning, if you don't get up again, the sun will dry your ass. How could Haeyuming, who was still wandering in a sweet dream, get up so easily? He immediately turned to the side with his back to Tanjiro, and unconsciously murmured, "No, I think I'm going to die. Sleep a little longer." Seeing that he couldn't call Haeyuming up at all, Tanjiro called for off-field assistance with a serious face. As a hard-working family, how can we sleep late? Nezuko, look at Cousin Min lying in bed again, this is not acceptable. No, no, no. Well, today's Nezuko is also very cute. However, sleep is the number one thing a person needs to survive. So I'm sorry Nezuko, your dark cousin will go back to sleep first. Mr. Ming, it's time to go. Tomioka Giyu, who was woken up, saw that it was impossible to go back to sleep, and it was almost time, so he began to try to wake Haeyuming up. Don't I just want to sleep for a while? Haeyuming, who was forcibly awakened, obviously began to get up a little bit. This group of hateful guys actually don't even understand the truth that the only things in the world that can't be let down are food and sleep. No, the more I think about it, the more angry I get. I must teach these three guys a lesson, who don't know the value of sleep. The three of you scramble around each other, and you don't stop until I tell you to stop. Wait, Nezuko, let me come. Haeyuming turned to the three who didn't know how precious sleep was before him, and started directly the skill of glib tongue. Well, why make us go around the creek nest? It's so strange. Oh, I know, it must be to let us move our bodies, so that the circulation of chi and blood will be smoother. It is indeed Mr. Ming. After a reasonable period of brainstorming, Tomioka Giyu and Tanjiro looked suddenly enlightened. Obviously they had made up a suitable explanation in their own minds. Looking at Tomioka Giyu, who is suffocating in front of his eyes, with blue veins on his face, flushed and still trying to maintain his facial paralysis, and Nezuko, who has a cute face and smiles with small tiger teeth. Haeyuming's mood is obviously much happier. See if you dare to let me get up early. Hey, but this skill is really easy to use, there is still a lot of potential to be developed. When I get to the headquarters of the Demon Slayer squad, I will try to ask Ubuyashiki Kagaya to give me a year's salary in advance. In the small village at the foot of Sawu Mountain, the smell of blood seemed to permeate, and the huge village couldn't hear the slightest sound. In a small house in the village, a white-faced man with black hair, slightly pink at the tip, and a string engraved in one eye was standing in the middle of the room with an obsessive expression on his face. Everyone around him seemed to have fallen into a deep sleep, unable to move, and everyone turned into his spare rations. At this moment, a voice suddenly appeared in the man's heart. Enmu, I want you to lead the other 5 to go to Mount Sagiri immediately to kill a young black-haired swordsman, do you understand? Yes, Master Kibutsuji Muzan. It is my honor to serve you. Very well, I have already touched the realm of eternity. If you succeed this time, I will also give you true eternity. I will fulfill my mission. The Eternal Realm, Sagiri Mountain. Interesting, then I really have to deal with it here, but I can't finish it, what should I do? Looking at the dozens of villagers who were still alive, Enmu's eyes shone with a cruel light. Or you all go to die. The smell of blood permeated the village again, and everything became quiet again. It was as if nothing had happened. Chapter 15. After a morning of rushing, Haeyuming and his group finally arrived at the foot of Sawu Mountain, but the ghost who killed people at the foot of the mountain in the original book was nowhere to be seen. Originally, Haeyuming wanted to use this ghost to make Tanjiro practice courage. Who told this guy to disturb people's dreams this morning? It is an unforgivable crime. But since this ghost didn't appear, it means that the plot has gradually started to change in some aspects that he doesn't know, which is definitely not a good thing for Haeyuming. Therefore, Haeyuming, who felt a sense of uneasiness, asked Tomioka Giyu to give him the introduction method of water breathing after arriving at Mount Sagiri. However, at this moment, a person with silver white hair and a red Tengu mask appeared quietly in front of the group, startling the unsuspecting Tanjiro. Mr. Ming, I promised you that I would teach you the basic method of breathing water. I will ask my master trainer Yorokodaki Sakanji to teach you. Seeing that his master had arrived, Tomioka Giyu threw the blame directly to Yorokodaki Sakanji. To be honest, the previous bet, if he was to teach, would definitely make him extremely embarrassed. For his own teaching level, he is still a bit close. Are you two the ones that Giyu said in the letter that he wants to learn the way of the swordsman? It's good to see if you can keep up with me, Yorokodaki Sakanji said to the 2 people in front of him with great anger. Next to the Tengu mask, the deep wrinkles like the heels of an old tree can tell at a glance that Yorokodaki Sakanji is already very old. Mr. Yorokodaki Sakanji, I'm not here to learn how to be a swordsman. I just want to learn the basics of water breathing and 10 postures. Hearing that Yorokodaki Sakanji seemed to regard him and Tanjiro on the same level, Haeyuming explained again and again. Just kidding, he is a man who wants to save the world, how can he waste his time practicing with Tanjiro? As far as his current strength is more than enough to be a pillar directly, it is estimated that as long as he learns the technique of breathing, then his strength can definitely be improved to a higher level. Oh, arrogant brat, I've seen a lot of brats like you who want to run before they learn how to walk. But let me tell you that if you don't have a strong body to support you, everything is empty talk. If you don't see you have a lot of potential for advancement, otherwise I would have let you leave the shop a long time ago. Hearing Haeyuming's words, Yorokodaki Sakanji's impression of Haeyuming immediately dropped to a new level. Originally, he saw a bit of piercing sword energy in Haeyuming's body, but he was also an impatient person. Master, please shut up. This man is no ordinary young man, even Kibutsuji Muzan was almost blown away by him. Tomioka Giyu was listening in a cold sweat. Originally, he wrote in the letter that he found someone who might save the world. Obviously, Yorokodaki Sakanji misunderstood consciousness. What he meant was that he was about to save the world, not a peerless genius who had to start from scratch again. This guy was a powerful evildoer. However, before Tomioka Giyu had time to explain, Haeyuming had already answered Yorokodaki Sakanji's words in advance. Then as long as my strength is strong enough, you can teach me how to use water breathing, right? Urokodaki Sakanji shook his head when he heard that Haeyuming was so tenacious, and sighed. It seems that Giyu also has misjudged eyes sometimes. How can he achieve a big career with such an impetuous mind? Well, if you can show the strength that makes me feel like passing the test, I will teach you. Hearing this, the corner of Haeyuming's mouth curled into a smile. How could he not know what Urokodaki Sakanji was thinking? If he doesn't come up with something now, this notoriety of being so ambitious may be buckled on his head. But fortunately, Haeyuming has never been inferior to anyone in terms of strength. I just hope that this bad old man won't be scared off his jaw after a while. I saw that Haeyuming took a deep breath, fastened the horse's gait, and the muscles all over his body were bulging. The blue veins were constantly swimming on his right hand like a dragon, and the terrifying breath enveloped the audience for a long time. A normal punch. Boom. I only heard a sound like thunder exploded in everyone's ears in an instant. A powerful shock wave with Haeyuming as the center released endless power crazily outwards, and the ground could no longer withstand this terrifying attack. A huge hole was punched out abruptly. The four people around were so frightened that their mouths dropped. Is this the power that humans can possess? Among them, Urokodaki Sakanji, who had never seen the strength of Haeyuming, even trembled slightly with an expression of seeing a ghost. This is more than a power that makes him feel satisfied. If this punch hits the ghost's head, it can make his head fly around the world for 2.5 circles. Hey, what the hell is lying under the trough? Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.